This lecture is from chapter 4, and it is specifically on cognitive dissonance, just a really brief lecture on what that term means. Let's look at a quote here. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. I really like that quote, and I think it's very true, that we don't want to have what we think destroyed. We don't want to be combated with our thoughts. So let's define cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort experienced when a person holds two conflicting beliefs or when their actions don't align with their beliefs. For example, I might think liars are bad people. That's my belief, but I just lied, so I took that action. So that's going to create some anxiety, mental discomfort, because what I think and what I do don't match each other. So how do we reduce cognitive dissonance? Selective exposure. We focus on information that confirms our beliefs. We don't look at any information that doesn't confirm our beliefs. People are especially keen on reading information that supports their political, religious, and ethical views. So I'm essentially ignoring any information that does not correspond with my beliefs. So therefore, I avoid that anxiety of having a difference in beliefs. For example, I might only consult news sources that are compatible with my political beliefs, as opposed to consulting other sources that might contradict my beliefs. So that's one way we get rid of cognitive dissonance. We only look at things that support what we believe. Another way is to simply change our behavior. So I smoke, but I know it's unhealthy. So one way I can reduce this cognitive dissonance is simply to stop smoking, to change my behavior. We can justify our behavior. For example, I know that I spent too much money while shopping, but I did well at work today, so I deserve it. So I'm justifying that behavior. So my attitude and my behavior, they match now. One more example of justifying our behavior, being required to decide between multiple options. For example, I might have to choose between two apartments. Once I make the decision, I might regret my choice. This creates dissonance between my behavior, choosing a specific apartment, and my thought, the other apartment was a better choice. So to reduce this dissonance or discomfort, I justify my decision by focusing on all the pros of the apartment I chose and the cons of the apartment I did not choose. So that's just one example of when we might have cognitive dissonance. And in order to relieve that dissonance, or as I said, discomfort, we focus on the pros of what we chose and we ignore the cons of what we didn't. So besides changing our behavior or justifying our behavior, to get rid of cognitive dissonance, we could change our attitude, change what we think. For example, I know smoking is unhealthy, but it helps me stay calm and live life to its fullest. However, it is worth noting that even if we change our attitude, the dissonance might still have underlying mental and physical effects. So some physical symptoms of cognitive dissonance or cognitive discomfort could be insomnia, not being able to sleep, as well digestive issues, headaches, muscle tension, and sweating. Those are just symptoms of feeling that anxiety of our thoughts and our actions not matching each other. So those are some physical symptoms. There are also some mental symptoms of having to deal with cognitive dissonance. Those could include stress, frustration, being restless, which could go along with the insomnia, not being able to sleep very well, anxiety, feeling guilt, and being embarrassed that our attitudes don't match our actions. So those are just some ways of what cognitive dissonance is, first of all, how we try to relieve it, and how it can affect us. Even if we've consciously relieved it, there might be a subconscious reaction still that we're really not aware of. So hopefully that's helped a little bit with defining cognitive dissonance. I know that can kind of be a interesting topic to have to explain, but hopefully that helped, and please let me know if you have any questions.